Billionaire's mistress laughs at his pregnant wife, but instantly regrets it. Jacob Harrington's story begins with his meteoric ascent from humble beginnings in upstate New York to becoming one of Manhattan's most recognized names in the tech and investment world. An alumnus of Harvard Business School, Jacob transformed a modest software startup into Harrington Innovations, a cutting-edge company renowned for its breakthroughs in artificial intelligence and predictive analytics. His visionary ideas attracted venture capital giants and even luminaries like Mark Cuban, solidifying his reputation as a modern billionaire with a passion for philanthropy. With a sprawling penthouse overlooking Central Park and a dazzling public image bolstered by charity galas and high-profile partnerships, Jacob epitomized the successful, charismatic entrepreneur. Yet behind this glittering facade, a personal void lingered, a need for adoration and validation that would soon draw him into dangerous emotional territory. At one of Jacob's many high-profile charity events, fate introduced him to Bianca Lombardi, a striking brunette with flowing raven hair and smoky eyes that could captivate any room. An aspiring actress with a few off-Broadway cameo roles to her credit, Bianca was determined to climb the social ladder by any means necessary. Her confident introduction, laden with well-researched compliments on his revolutionary AI projects, immediately caught Jacob's attention. Unlike the usual sycophancy that Jacob was accustomed to, Bianca's blend of glamour, intelligence, and a hint of audacity resonated with him. She seamlessly wove technical details into flirtatious banter, making him feel understood and admired in a way few others had before. As Bianca continued to insert herself into his world, appearing at tech conferences, volunteering at the same charity events, and even casually engaging with his business circles, her presence began to erode the carefully maintained boundaries of Jacob's professional and personal life. While Jacob's professional world thrived, his wife Celeste remained a quiet, nurturing figure in his life. A former ballet dancer from Chicago with a tender, soft-spoken nature, Celeste embodied grace and resilience. Immersed in preparing for their first child, she spent her days reading parenting books, decorating the nursery, and supporting Jacob's ambitious endeavors with unwavering trust. To Celeste, their marriage was a testament to love and partnership, a shared dream woven through years of dedication and hope. Unaware of the storm that was gathering, she believed in the sanctity of their bond and took pride in the image of a perfect family that the media adored. Little did she know that behind the polished public image, Jacob's heart was beginning to stray. The spark of temptation and the beginning of the affair. As Bianca's influence grew, Jacob found himself increasingly drawn into a secret world of forbidden desire. The allure of Bianca's bold, unrestrained charm, combined with her knowledge of his work and personal interests, gradually dismantled his resolve. In the aftermath of a grueling shareholder meeting at Harrington Innovations, an exhausted Jacob succumbed to the temptation when Bianca discreetly texted him, suggesting dinner and a reprieve from his high-pressure life. That night, in a secluded corner of Le Bernardin, candlelight and fine wine set the stage for what began as a series of furtive meetings. The stolen glances evolved into passionate encounters, and what had started as a seemingly innocent flirtation soon escalated into a full-blown secret affair. Jacob rationalized his actions with self-deception, convincing himself that his professional persona would remain untarnished and that Celeste's gentle nature would shield her from the full truth. Yet, beneath every stolen moment, a growing inner conflict brewed, a mixture of guilt, longing, and the dangerous lure of Bianca's seductive promises. What initially seemed like a harmless dalliance soon transformed into a perilous entanglement. Bianca, far from being content with mere secrecy, grew bolder and more ambitious with each encounter. Her flirtations turned into explicit demands. She wanted public acknowledgement, a lavish lifestyle on par with Jacob's own, and ultimately a promise that he would abandon his wife for her. Bianca's demeanor shifted from coy to confrontational. She began to use every advantage, drawing on Jacob's vulnerabilities and feeding his need for validation. At one point, when Jacob attempted to reassure himself that the affair would remain compartmentalized, Bianca's insistence became inescapable. She confronted him in his private office, demanding that he choose between her and his wife. Her words were laced with venom as she declared, "I'm not going to wait around forever. I deserve better than sneaking around in dark corners." Jacob's attempts to silence her pleas only deepened her resolve, setting off a dangerous chain reaction that would soon shatter the delicate balance of his personal life. Celeste, who had always trusted Jacob implicitly, began to sense an unsettling change in his behavior. Initially dismissing his distracted mannerisms as stress from work, she gradually noticed more concrete signs of betrayal. Late nights at the office, hushed phone conversations, and an unexplained air of secrecy started to erode her once solid trust. The turning point came when, during a routine day at work, Celeste decided to surprise Jacob with coffee, hoping to recapture the simple, loving moments they once shared. Instead, she inadvertently stumbled upon a scene that would forever alter her life. As she neared Jacob's suite, she heard soft laughter and, through a slightly ajar door, glimpsed Bianca intimately engaged with him. The conversation she overheard was damning Bianca's mocking tone, her casual cruelty as she ridiculed Celeste's condition, and Jacob's stammered excuses painted a portrait of betrayal so vivid that it shattered Celeste's world in an instant. Overwhelmed by a surge of grief and humiliation, Celeste's heart broke as she realized that the man she had once cherished was now entangled in a web of lies and deceit. The revelation was not just a personal blow, it was a public humiliation that would have far-reaching consequences. In the moments that followed her discovery, Celeste's pain transformed into a fierce, burning anger. Confronting Jacob proved to be a moment of raw, searing emotion. When Jacob finally returned home, the tension in the air was palpable. Celeste, trembling yet resolute, demanded an explanation. The conversation that ensued was a painful clash of conflicting truths. Jacob's initial attempts to justify his behavior with weak excuses fell flat under the weight of Celeste's heartbreak. Accusations flew, Celeste's voice broke as she demanded to know how he could betray her trust and mock her vulnerability. Jacob's voice, heavy with regret and shame, stuttered apologies that only deepened the chasm between them. Bianca's earlier derisive laughter echoed in Celeste's ears, intensifying the sense of betrayal. Unable to bear the sting of his words and the painful realization that his infidelity was laid bare, Celeste fled from the confrontation, her tears marking the end of a love that had once seemed unbreakable. The revelation of the affair set off a catastrophic chain of events that rippled through every facet of Jacob's life. Not only was his personal world in ruins, but the business empire he had built now teetered on the edge of collapse. Bianca, ever the calculating seductress, escalated her tactics by resorting to blackmail. With incriminating evidence in hand-text messages, emails, and even secretly recorded conversations, she threatened to expose the entire sordid affair to the media unless Jacob agreed to her exorbitant demands. Her extortion scheme was ruthless. She wanted an astronomical sum and assurances of a public role in his life, a position that would effectively force him to choose her over Celeste. Jacob, caught between a rock and a hard place, sought counsel from his trusted corporate attorney, Madeline Kim. In tense meetings and hidden conversations, Madeline advised him to gather concrete evidence of Bianca's blackmail attempts. A secret sting operation was arranged in a high-end hotel suite, where hidden cameras and audio recorders captured every detail of Bianca's explicit demands. The recorded evidence painted a damning picture of Bianca's malicious intent. Despite the mounting evidence against her, Bianca remained defiant, mocking Jacob's attempts to control the situation and insisting that her silence was worth far more than his wealth. Meanwhile, Celeste, reeling from the betrayal, began to consider her own legal options. With the support of a sympathetic attorney and the emotional encouragement of her family, she decided that her future and that of her unborn child could no longer be shackled to Jacob's deceit. She initiated proceedings for legal separation, determined to protect her rights and secure a future free from humiliation. As Celeste grappled with her grief, the stark contrast between her gentle, nurturing nature and the cold, calculating actions of her husband and his mistress became increasingly clear. In the midst of the legal and personal chaos, fate intervened in the form of a hospital emergency. Celeste's condition, already fragile from months of emotional turmoil, took a perilous turn when she went into early labor. With her health in jeopardy and her unborn child's life hanging in the balance, Celeste was rushed to the hospital. In the sterile, fluorescent-lit labor ward, the raw reality of her situation hit home. Jacob, forced to confront the consequences of his actions, rushed to be by her side. For hours, amid the beeping monitors, frantic medical instructions, and Celeste's agonized cries, the couple found themselves united by the imminent arrival of new life. After a grueling 18 hours, Celeste gave birth to a beautiful baby girl, Violet Grace Harrington. In that moment, as Jacob cradled his newborn daughter with tear-streaked cheeks, a surge of paternal protectiveness overwhelmed him. Despite the deep betrayal that had fractured their marriage, the fragile life in his arms ignited within him a desperate desire to atone for his mistakes. For Celeste, the birth of Violet was both a moment of profound relief and a catalyst for change, a symbol that even in the midst of heartbreak, life could begin anew. In the weeks and months following Violet's birth, both Celeste and Jacob embarked on the arduous journey of healing. Celeste, bolstered by the love of her family and the unwavering support of her mother Lydia, began attending therapy sessions to confront the deep emotional scars left by Jacob's infidelity. Her sessions with renowned psychologist Dr. Patrice Rousseau helped her navigate the painful memories and rebuild her self-worth. Slowly, she began to see that the betrayal, as devastating as it was, did not define her value or her future. Jacob, for his part, entered couples counseling in a bid to salvage what remained of their fractured relationship. Under Dr. Rousseau's guidance, the couple worked through long, suppressed resentments, miscommunications, and the painful legacy of betrayal. Jacob laid bare his regret, promising transparency and a renewed commitment to rebuilding trust. He willingly shared his phone, emails, and travel itineraries, allowing Celeste to verify his actions and, gradually, to believe in his remorse. Their sessions were often grueling and filled with raw emotion, yet they also sparked tentative moments of hope, a glimmer of the love that had once united them. Parallel to their emotional work, legal battles were waged on both fronts. Celeste's attorney, Alan Royce, and Jacob's legal team, led by Madeline Kim, maneuvered through a labyrinth of extortion evidence, separation filings, and financial settlements. The sting operation against Bianca provided irrefutable proof of her blackmail attempts, forcing her to withdraw her lawsuit and paving the way for a more favorable settlement. Ultimately, the legal proceedings resulted in Celeste securing primary custody of Violet, substantial child support, and a portion of Jacob's assets, a measure that, while painful, laid the foundation for Celeste's independent future. Freed from the oppressive chains of a toxic marriage, Celeste slowly began to reclaim her identity. No longer defined solely as Jacob Harrington's wife, she emerged as a determined, resilient woman ready to forge a new path for herself and her daughter. Drawing on her years of experience in high society and her natural grace, Celeste reinvented her life by pursuing her long-forgotten passions. She returned to dance, teaching ballet at a local studio, and gradually reconnected with her artistic side, a part of her identity that had been buried beneath the weight of marital betrayal. Celeste also embraced entrepreneurship. Recognizing the potential to help others who had experienced similar hardships, she launched Rising Dawn Ventures, a social enterprise dedicated to mentoring and empowering single mothers to become successful entrepreneurs. With the modest settlement she secured and the financial windfall from a dormant trust fund left by Jacob's late father, Celeste invested in her new venture with unwavering determination. Her work at Rising Dawn Ventures not only provided her with financial independence, but also became a source of deep personal fulfillment. Women from all walks of life, inspired by her story of resilience, flocked to her mentorship programs, each success story a testament to the transformative power of turning pain into purpose. Despite the progress, the shadow of betrayal lingered in every aspect of Jacob and Celeste's lives. Jacob's ongoing battle with Bianca's extortion attempts and the constant reminders of his infidelity, both in the media and within the corridors of Harrington Innovations, forced him to confront the depths of his mistakes. His public image, once untouchable, was tarnished, and his professional empire faced a crisis of confidence among investors. Meanwhile, Bianca, unable to sustain her hold on Jacob and increasingly vilified by the press, began to fade into obscurity as her opportunities dwindled. In an effort to salvage even a semblance of dignity, Jacob made earnest attempts to repair his relationship with Celeste. He traveled frequently to Chicago, where Celeste and Violet resided, and participated in joint counseling sessions. Their tentative reconciliations were punctuated by raw, painful conversations about trust, betrayal, and the possibility of forgiveness. One crisp autumn evening by Lake Michigan, after months of guarded interactions, Jacob mustered the courage to express his heartfelt regret. "Celeste, I know I've hurt you beyond measure. Every day, I wake up wishing I could rewrite my past to be the man you deserved. I'm here for Violet, and I'm willing to work for a second chance, no matter how long it takes." Though Celeste's heart remained heavy with the memory of Bianca's callous mockery, she acknowledged the sincerity in his tone. "I can't promise everything will be fixed overnight," she replied quietly, "but for Violet's sake, and if you truly commit to change, maybe we can slowly rebuild what was lost." Over time, as the legal battles receded and the media spotlight dimmed, Jacob and Celeste established a new equilibrium. Their marriage, though irrevocably altered, evolved into a co-parenting relationship defined by mutual respect and cautious hope. Celeste maintained her independent life in New York, balancing her role as a single mother and entrepreneur, while Jacob, now under strict scrutiny, worked to regain even a fraction of the trust he had shattered. Their interactions remained measured, punctuated by therapy sessions and structured visitation schedules. But each small step toward healing was a victory against the darkness of the past. The saga of Jacob Harrington, Bianca Lombardi, and Celeste Harrington is one of epic proportions, a modern parable about ambition, betrayal, and the possibility of redemption. Jacob's rise from modest beginnings to billionaire status, fueled by relentless drive and visionary brilliance, was ultimately undermined by his insatiable need for validation and the seductive allure of a mistress who would stop at nothing to claim a share of his empire. Bianca's calculated manipulation and unrepentant cruelty exposed the fragility of Jacob's personal life, while Celeste's quiet strength and unwavering love, even in the face of profound betrayal, illuminated the path toward a new beginning. Celeste's journey from being humiliated and cast aside to emerging as a formidable, independent woman is a testament to the resilience of the human spirit. Through heartbreak, legal battles, and the painful process of rebuilding trust, she transformed her pain into purpose, launching a social enterprise that not only secured her financial future, but also empowered countless women to rise above their circumstances. Jacob, burdened by guilt and facing the collapse of his public persona, embarked on a long, arduous path toward atonement, one marked by difficult truths, emotional reckonings, and the slow, painstaking work of regaining trust. In the end, the story reveals that while betrayal can shatter even the most seemingly perfect lives, it can also serve as the catalyst for transformation. Celeste, with her boundless courage and maternal love, reclaimed her destiny, proving that true wealth lies not in material success, but in the strength to forge a better future out of the ashes of loss. Jacob's fall from grace, though tragic, offers a cautionary tale about the perils of unchecked ambition and the destructive cost of infidelity. And Bianca's downfall, marked by her own hubris and eventual obscurity, serves as a stark reminder that cruelty and manipulation rarely pay off in the end. This gripping narrative, teeming with opulence, raw emotion, and the turbulent interplay between power and vulnerability, resonates deeply with anyone who has ever experienced the sting of betrayal or the bittersweet taste of redemption. It is a story of shattered illusions and the painstaking, courageous journey toward healing, of a love betrayed and a future reimagined, of the unyielding power of resilience that, in the end, allows a woman to not only survive but thrive. If this dramatic tale of heartbreak, vengeance, and ultimate transformation moves you, remember that even the most painful betrayals can lead to growth and new beginnings. The journey of Celeste, Jacob, and Bianca is a powerful reminder that while our past mistakes may haunt us, our response to them can redefine our future.